So this is a movie about the rest of this test. Remember that the two tests may be different or will be different. And so I'm going to do the B version, but the logic is the same for the A version. All right, so here we go with the proton, neutron, electron section. If you look at atoms, so first of all, is there a charge when you have an atom? And the answer is no. So there's no charge on these guys up here. Okay, so no charge. So if there's no charge, we can say that the protons equals the electrons. So if we also know that atomic number equals protons. These are things that I wrote on the board the day of the test. So if the atomic number is 14, the number of protons is 14. And if there's no charge for atoms, there is no charge for atoms, so the electrons are going to be 14. The mass number is 27, so we know that protons plus neutrons equals mass. So if the protons are 14, we don't know what the neutrons are. We know the mass is 27. You solve for n by subtracting 14 from both sides. So n equals 13. So then the hyphen notation would be the element that's element 14. So you go over here and look for element 14, you see that it is silicon. So since silicon is element 14, we know to put in here the name silicon, and then it's hyphen 27. So this number right here is the mass number. Now the nuclear symbol would see silicon. It has a 14 here. That's the atomic number, and the mass number goes to the top, like that. There is no charge, so you can either put a 0 here or just leave it blank. All right, the next element is element number 80. We know it's 80 because there is no charge. So if there's no charge, the electrons equals the protons. So the atomic number is 80. So now you click over here, come over here, find the periodic table. Element number 80 is mercury. So we know it's mercury. Then mercury has a mass of 205. Now how did I get 205? I would do 80 plus 125. So 80 plus 125 is 205. We call it mercury, 205. We put over here an Hg. We put the atomic number here and the mass number up at the top. This one, oxygen 14, if you look at the periodic table, you see that oxygen has an atomic number of 8. It's right here. So oxygen's 8. So we know that our atomic number is 8, protons are 8, electrons are 8, because electrons equals protons if there is no charge. The mass we're told is 14. So protons plus neutrons equals mass. Protons are 8, neutrons we don't know. Mass is 14, so 8 plus x equals 14. The x is equal to 6. Symbol, oxygen is 8 and 14. All right, that was the top half. Now the bottom half, we have ions. Ions have a charge. So they have charge. That means that they have lost or gained electrons. All right, so first element is potassium. The atomic number is 19. That's this number right here. That's the atomic number. The mass number is 41. And protons would be the same as the atomic number. Okay, the electrons are normally the same as the atomic number, but since there's a charge of +1, that means that we've lost an electron. So positive charge means you've lost an electron. So instead of having 19, you're going to have 18. And again, protons plus neutrons equals mass, so that would be 22, because 22 plus 19 equals 41. All right, you can also use this protons minus electrons equals charge formula. Protons are 19, and electrons we didn't know, so minus electrons equals +1. So 19 minus 18 equals 1. Okay, on this one we have 18 electrons, but there's also a -2 charge. So that means we have 2 extra. Since 18 includes the 2 extra, before we had the 2 extra, we would have had 16. So the number of protons normally would have been 16, equal to the normal number of electrons. So since it's element 16, we know it's sulfur. And here's sulfur right here. So you know sulfur is element 16. So we're going to put a 16 here. And then the mass number will be the protons plus the neutrons. So protons plus neutrons equals mass. The neutrons are 17, protons are 16. 16 and 17 is 33. It tells us that we have a -2 charge, so that's a -2 right there. All right, mass we said was 33. Protons equals atomic number, so that'll be 16. Next one, atomic number is 12. So you click over here and you look for element 12. 12 is over on this side. So there it is, magnesium. You put a 12 right here. That means there's 12 protons. The mass is 23, so we're going to put the 23 up here. Since we have 12 protons, or 12 positives, I don't know how to get rid of that. Oops. Since I'm this far into this video, let me pull this thing out again. Not quite sure how I did that. Let's start this one again. So I'm in magnesium. That was this one here. So here we put a Mg, and that would be 12. Then the mass is 23, so we put a 23 up here. We have 10 electrons. Oh, we have 12 protons. We have 10 electrons. So there's going to be 12 pluses and 10 negatives. So 12 and 10, positive 12 minus 10 is going to give us a +2 charge. Or once again, protons minus electrons equals charge. All right, so 12 minus 10 equals 2. That's how we know it's +2. Or we know that there are 2 more positives than there are negatives. The neutrons, we know protons plus neutrons equals mass. So 12 plus 10, 12 plus something. Oops. So 12 plus x equals 23. So x has to be 11. Then on our last one, we've got a mass of 18. We've got 10 electrons, but we have a -2 charge. So 10 electrons includes 2 extra because it's a -2 charge. So what's our normal number? It'd be 8. So the atomic number is 8. Because 8, add 2 more, you get 10. Okay, or you can use protons minus electrons equals charge. This is 10. This is protons, we don't know what, so protons minus 10. Whoops. Protons minus 10 equals negative 2. So that has to be 8, because 8 minus 10 is negative 2. The mass was 18, so protons plus neutrons equals mass, like we said. So this is 8 plus x equals 18. X has to be 10. So this is oxygen, because element number 8 is oxygen. I thought I had the periodic table still open behind here. There it is. So element 8 is oxygen. I'll show you right there. 8, oxygen. Atomic number would be 8. Mass number was 18. Charge was negative 2. All right, so that's the end of that section of the quiz.